Have you ever stopped to think about what would happen if the internet wasn't global anymore? Imagine a world with digital borders, where what you can see online depends entirely on what country you're in. Well, that's not science fiction. It could be our future. And it's all kicking off because of a major showdown between the UK and the US. Today, we're going to break down this digital tug-of-war and what it means for all of us.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This whole thing really catches fire with this quote right here. A powerful UK regulator is making a really aggressive move against a US-based company, and believe me, it has sent some serious shockwaves through the entire tech world.
But, this is so much more than just a company getting into a spat with a regulator. This is a fundamental clash of legal systems, of different philosophies. It's basically a battle over who gets to write the rule book for the entire internet.
So here's how the two sides are squaring up. In one corner, you've got Ofcom, the UK's regulator, and they're demanding that a US company, 4chan, has to follow British law. And in the other corner, you've got the American company basically saying, no way, and pointing to its rights under the US Constitution. It's a classic standoff.
Now, the UK's whole argument hinges on this fancy-sounding legal idea: extraterritorial power. What does that mean? Well, essentially, they're claiming their laws don't just stop at their own borders. They think they can reach across the Atlantic and enforce their rules on an American company on American soil. I mean, that's a huge claim, and it's right at the heart of this entire fight.
And really, this legal fight is just the surface. Underneath it all is a much deeper battle. We're talking about a massive collision between two totally different ways of thinking about what the internet should even be.
See, the UK is trying to enforce what they call age assurance rules. Now, on the surface, that sounds like it's all about safety, right? But the only way to do that is to verify every single user's age. And what does that do? It absolutely destroys online anonymity. And that idea runs headfirst into a principle that is fiercely protected in the United States.
And this is basically the legal brick wall that Ofcom has just slammed into. In the US, the First Amendment doesn't just protect what you say. The courts have decided over and over again that it also protects your right to say it anonymously. So from the American point of view, forcing age verification isn't a safety measure. It's seen as a direct attack on a core constitutional right.
So, how did the US side respond? With this. This quote from the company's lawyer is, well, not subtle at all. It's a pretty dramatic way of drawing a line in the sand and saying, look, this isn't just a legal disagreement. We see this as an assault on our fundamental rights, and you simply can't enforce that from another country.
So what happens when two powerful countries have a fundamental disagreement about the internet? Well, in this case, it lit a fire under lawmakers in the United States and sparked a legislative counterattack that's frankly unlike anything we've really seen before.
And this is it. It's called the Granite Act. You can think of it as a kind of digital shield, a law designed specifically to protect American companies and citizens from exactly these kinds of foreign censorship demands.
And what's absolutely wild here is the speed. Just look at this timeline. A little over a month and a half ago, this whole thing was just an idea on someone's blog. Now, it's being seriously considered as a federal law by the United States Congress. In the world of government and lawmaking, that is moving at warp speed.
So let's be crystal clear about the purpose here. The whole point of the Granite Act is to build that legal fortress, to make it legally impossible for foreign governments to do the exact kind of thing Ofcom is trying to do right now.
Okay, this is where this whole story stops being about one company and one regulator and starts being about you and me and literally every single person who logs on. This fight has escalated, and it's now a battle over who gets to decide what you are allowed to see online. And that forces us to ask a question we've kind of danced around for 30 years. Who actually governs the internet? Is it supposed to be this one giant open platform for the whole world? Or is it about to shatter into a bunch of different national networks, each with its own walls and its own set of rules?
So here's exactly what's at stake. We're at a fork in the road. One path leads to a free, open internet, the kind of thing we've always talked about. The other path leads to what people are calling the splinternet, where every country acts as its own content cop. The precedent set by this one case could decide which future we get. Just think about it. Could a government an ocean away decide what you see on your screen?
So, we're standing at a critical moment. No exaggeration. The next moves by lawmakers in London and Washington, D.C. are probably going to define the internet for decades. They're deciding what kind of web our kids are going to grow up with.
And that leaves us with this final massive question. Are we watching the internet start to fracture and break apart right now?
Or are we about to see a new kind of defense rise up to keep it open and whole for everyone? The battle between national control and a free, global internet is on, and the answer to that question is still being written.